Welcome to the Secure the Perimeter podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Secure the Perimeter podcast. I'm Caden. Today we are joined by Jeremy Salmons. He works at our sales department here at Smart Digital. Jeremy, welcome to the Secure the Perimeter podcast.
Well, thank you. Enjoy it. It's a nice setup.
Thank you. Yeah, we just got this new setup a few weeks ago. Actually, seems like it's a pretty popular spot here around the office. We get a lot of people. Parker and I, the guy who runs our podcast, he works with me with the marketing. We have a lot of people stop by and kind of just take a little break in our chairs here. But yeah, thanks for coming on the pod today. Unfortunately, Brent's out, so this was a guy that was next in line. So
you get stuck with me today, man.
Yep. But yeah, again, he works in our sales department. So just for the people who obviously they don't know you, who is Jeremy Salmons?
Well, started in the sales department, and it's been a really good experience here at Smart Digital. I've enjoyed it a lot. I didn't always do sales, so I mean, this is it's a somewhat of a new experience because now I'm up front like a person is supposed to be. So
yeah,
that part is a little new. I'm used to being the engineer, the guy that fixes the problems that the sales guy promises that he could do. So I come in behind that guy, but now I'm that guy. So
yeah. How's it feel to kind of be like you said, kind of roles reversed? Now you're the one actually kind of making the promises rather than fulfilling the promises.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And with the technical background that I have built over the years, I think that me being in the salesman position is a much better position than being on the technical side, just because, we could get into it later, but I mean, just having that customer experience at one-on-one with them where you're building the relationship with the customer.
Yeah.
And it's not something that gets fabricated, because you come into it behind another person who's already built the relationship.
Yeah.
So now you get to start it. So I think that is more fitting for myself.
It's more fitting, but do you enjoy that
Absolutely.
More? Or would you rather be out in the field?
No. Well, I mean, it's sales. So you still do get out in the field because, I'll go out and I'll do that first preliminary walk through, check out the stuff. But I really do enjoy being the first in line. When customers call in, I try to nab the phone first.
Yeah.
Just so I can get to talk to them.
Yeah.
So I do really enjoy that. That's something that you didn't get, you got a little bit of it, but it was, like I said, it was already built up. So the customer already knew your business, already knew some of the players in your business. So.
Yeah. So obviously, you haven't been at Smart Digital forever. What was kind of well, first of all, did you ever see yourselves getting into sales, and kind of walk me through like how you got into the position you're at right now?
Oh, goodness. Well, I guess we could go back and start at my job that I was at the longest, because I worked my way up in that job. So do you want the full breakdown of the history of how I got into it? I'll give it to you. For the podcast, we got plenty of time, right?
Yep.
I started off in a warehouse. So I was doing like packaging, like UPS, FedEx stuff. And then from there, I went into the truck and made deliveries. And then from there, I went into a technical repair kind of position where I would go out and repair the devices that I was working on. And then I'd go into a new position and connect it onto their networks. And so then I got into that's where I got my Net Plus training. So I'm not like this regular sales guy. I actually got some training.
Yeah.
So did that, and then I got into solutions. And then that's when the sales pieces really started to fall into place, because when you get into solutions for your software, you have a lot of one-on-one time with the customer.
Yeah.
And that's where you build relationships, right?
Yeah.
Is when I can sit down with you in your office. Okay, now tell me all about your problems. Tell me what you got going on, and let's see if we can fix them. Yeah, so that's kind of where it led into. And then we got to the point in that business where I was going out and just doing the sales stuff on my own. So that's kind of how it built into that sales position. And then I did that for a number of years. So
Yeah. You also did radio though. Is that right?
yeah, I feel like we're on Hot Ones. Like you did this research for me before I came in. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if you watched Sean Ryan, but I was trying to like compile up an intro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched him, but he's like he gives all of his guests, like every single individual guest, like a I don't know, 2 to 5 minute like it's pretty like an epic intro, but
Yeah.
unfortunately I couldn't find Jeremy Salmons on the internet.
Good.
So.
I've scrubbed it well. No, I went to college. The reason I went to college was for communications and broadcasting.
Okay.
So I went there, did a stint at college, got the job right away, left my home state and came to Ohio, started my radio job I worked there for 2 years. I did weather spots. I did commercials for local businesses. I did behind the scenes for a lot of the sports stuff. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Just an engineer at a television radio station, kind of behind the scenes guy. Made sure things got on the air when they were supposed to get on the air. My favorite part was doing the commercial breaks and the weather spots, though. That was my favorite piece.
Because you were on the air then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would go into my job because I was working 2 jobs at once. But I would go into my job where I was at the time repairing the copiers. And there was a really good mentor that we had. His name was Ron. And he always talked a little funny, but he did it on purpose. But he would look at me and be like, Jeremy, heard you on the radio this weekend.
Jeremy.
I was like, yeah, that was me, Ron. How'd I sound? He goes, you're all right, kid. I was like, thanks, Ron.
Yeah, that was funny. I think you did that. There was a day where I was having lunch and you did that to me. I was like, what's wrong with this guy, man? Why is he giving me this blank stare?
You hold on to those mentors, some of those little memories that you have,
Yeah.
You try to reuse them in other aspects of your life. That helps you to remember stuff, So I got a fond memory of that guy. So that was a good relationship that I built.
So how long were you working in radio then?
2 years.
Oh, wow. Only 2 years.
Yep. Just 2 years.
And did you plan on kind of staying in radio for a while, or did kind of things just happen and you had to get out, or?
Yeah, some things, you have a dream. So that was the dream job of mine. And, when something doesn't kind of go how you expected, it kind of, man, that's not what I expected. And working a behind the scenes engineer of a radio station, isn't the best paying job in the world, or it wasn't for me at the time.
Yeah.
So kind of had to move a little bit into where the money was, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking about money, moving into your position now in sales, I know you mentioned kind of how you enjoy, you're more on the front end customer speaking, so to speak, part of the job rather than kind of come through the behind the scenes and fulfilling the promise. Is that the most enjoying part or fulfilling part of your role now, kind of developing those relationships with customers?
Yeah, that's my favorite part. Just customer relationships, building those, talking with people, and it's like a respect. You get that, you give it. It's a back and forth thing where they know that, I know this is business, but this is a cool guy to talk to. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that mutual unspoken thing that you can build with people. And I just love that. Where,
Yeah. Do you think when it comes to sales, is it about confidence, or is it about, actually delivering on your promises, or is it just charisma? What do you think is kind of like the blueprint for being a good salesperson?
I think it's a little bit of all of it, but in a really good trait, and this is my take on sales. There's lots of different types of sales. There's different, roles that require different personality or, traits, I guess you could say. But one that I always fall back to is just being transparent. I think that is a really good one. I think people appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking with someone, and the way that I look at it is I treat people how I want to be treated. And that was my picture going into a single sales role. So if this is all I'm doing, then I'm just going to give, my customers exactly how I would want to be treated.
Yeah.
So, but it does take a little charisma, sometimes,
Yeah.
you got to spice it up a little bit. You can't
Right.
just come in there like a robot.
Yeah.
I'm following the book, this
Yeah.
is my script. No, I keep it, flexible, enjoyable, like a cool one-on-one, just like this,
Right.
easy, laid back. There's no tension. Just have a good time, have a fun conversation, and then solve some problems.
Right.
That's kind of how we look at it.
Yeah. I kind of had to find out how to sell the hard way. So a few years ago, I worked up in Illinois for like a month or two, doing door-to-door stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we were selling, and it's not like we were selling like pest control or, something like that. We were selling solar panels on people's houses, like on their roofs. So we were looking to like help out people lower their electricity bills and things like that. So, because you mentioned you can't just read off the script and be a robot. And I remember I had a very rough first, like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks at the job, because obviously we were given a script that we kind of had to like semi-follow. And then obviously, we just kind of had to implement it in our conversations with people. But we would, just for practice, we would kind of like record like voice memos on our phone, like as we were walking up the doors and stuff, so we could kind of like use it as film, to listen back on.
Yeah.
And so it was like the end of my time, like we were coming to the end of like the 2 months or whatever, and I was talking to my boss at the time, and I was just asking him, I was like, dude, just be honest with me. And it was a fun job, because like my boss was like he was actually like a year younger than me, but like all the guys were pretty young, or like similar age I was working with. And I was like, dude, I want you to be like completely honest with me. Like in these 2 months that I've been here, like how well have I done? And he was like, honestly, in the first month, I was like, this kid's not making it. he was straight up, and he was like, dude, I was telling you this, but in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, I don't think this is cut out for this kid. But by the end of it, I made a few sales, and I was actually, it was kind of fun, because we'd go out in groups. Sometimes we'd knock with one other person, but most of the time we'd be by ourselves. But it was kind of fun, just kind of talking to people all day. And that's kind of the whole reason I did it, because I'm not the most like outspoken or the loudest person in the room. But so my buddy actually was like, oh man, my friend just told me about the sales job. We'd have to move out to Illinois for a couple months if you'd be interested. I was like a sophomore in college at the time. So I was like 19. So I was like, dude, for half summer, whatever it is, why not? And then he bailed on me.
He bailed on you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Geez.
He bailed on me. And I was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna still do it. So
Nice.
yeah.
They say it takes like a year for a salesman to like really get into a groove, to get his feet wet, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's
But
your experience? Did you feel like I could have been really good if I did this for a full year?
I definitely think I would have gotten better as each month progressed in the year because I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I grew a lot, not only as a salesman, but as just like how I can carry conversation with people,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, I remember I'll never forget this experience, our first day on the doors. And so our boss was training us. So there was like 4 guys just walking up to this one house. And so he knocks on the door, and we didn't know this at the time, or at least 3 new guys, including myself, didn't know it. But this neighborhood was like had been getting hit by door to door people for like the past month or two, selling the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy comes out all guns a blazing, he's yelling, he's swearing, and he's like, I don't want your guys' crap that you're selling. He slams the door, and then our boss looks at us, he's like, well, that was probably the best experience that you guys could have got on the first door.
Yeah.
Because, if we got a sale or if it was like, oh, just like a mellow conversation, oh, I'm not interested, like we would have kind of expected that for every single door. But it was an experience I'll never forget because we ran into some crazy folks up there, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't really blame them in some senses because their doors are getting knocked on like almost probably every other day at that point
Mm-hmm.
by the same solar guys. So
Yeah, they come in waves, it seems like. That
yeah.
happens in my neighborhood too.
Oh really?
Yeah, it'll be like a pest control wave,
Yeah.
and then it'll be like fiber internet wave.
Yeah.
And then it's always like just these wave of salespeople that just come through.
Yeah.
They get one guy to bite and they're like, yeah, I talked to Jimmy John down here at this
That's
house.
exactly what we used.
I
Yep.
know. I know.
I'd always use that one, be like, oh yeah, Karen down the road, we're doing her house, so the guys could just come straight to your guys after. Cause one of my buddies, he does or at the time he did window washing. Like he had his like own window washing business, so
Mhm.
we would use that line a lot when I went and knocked with him. He'd be like, oh, Jim Bob down the road, the guy's already there working at his house right now, so in an hour or two they could swing back to your house. It was fun though, because it was just kind of like working with your buddies all day. But
It'd
yeah.
be funny if you walked into a neighborhood. What do they call that? A compound, where everybody's a family.
Oh, like a family
And you're like,
compound.
yeah, I just was talking with.
Oh.
It's like, you mean my sister?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You weren't talking to her.
Yeah. The amount of just blatant lies or just random, just on the spot you'd come up with was quite funny.
Yeah.
But so yeah, keeping on sales,
Mm-hmm.
what is one part of your job now that kind of keeps you on your toes?
Keeps me on my toes. Oh, the callbacks, to make sure that we're staying active with the customers. I mean, that's an important part of sales regardless. But
Yeah.
yeah, that alone keeps you on your toes. You want to constantly keep people engaged. You don't want them to be like, oh yeah, I never checked that out,
Yeah.
Like, so let's say last week I did, a proposal and gave it to a customer on Thursday. You give them the weekend to think about it maybe, and you call them on Tuesday. So they have, just to make sure that they read the proposal properly.
Yeah.
You always want to follow up and just make sure that there's no questions. Did you present who you need present it to? Anything I can help with?
Yeah.
Things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, staying engaged, staying active, that keeps you busy enough.
Yeah. I was going to expect you to say something like objections. At least that was how I stayed on my toes when I was in sales. Is kind of, obviously yours is more like phone calls, following up via email, rather than kind of real time.
I'm not going door to door.
Yeah, that's right.
There's none of that anymore, it seems like.
Yeah, thankfully.
Unless you're doing, bug sprays and window washing.
Yeah. Yeah. At least the marketing department here is trying our best to keep you from knocking on doors.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what do you think is, or what do you think people think good sales advice is, but in reality it's not? So what is something that a lot of people say about sales that's good advice, but in reality
Oh,
it just
yeah.
doesn't work?
There's one, and I honestly don't like it because I've never seen it work out well when they're like, never take no for an answer. Have you heard that before?
Oh, I've heard that a lot. Yeah.
I think a lot of people have. And I think that's probably the worst advice. And the reason being is because when somebody tells you no the first time, it's okay to maybe just say, oh, yeah, I understand, just to think about this and this aspect,
Yeah.
whatever the situation is. But the second no is a no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at that point, I'm like, I don't want to aggravate the person anymore. And I want to get straight to an answer as soon as possible and as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So if I hear about that more than once, then yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to aggravate them.
Yeah, I heard plenty of stories because we were told that exact same thing when I was doing door to door. And I heard stories about, other people that I was working with. There was this one where, they were in this neighborhood, and again, it already was hit by plenty of solar people. So the guy was already probably frustrated about being bothered again. And, like a big thing again, like I don't think it was the smartest thing to do, but he was telling me that these people that on our team, they went up to this guy's door. Obviously, he said he wasn't interested, but we were taught to kind of like take that as just like an objection, like no is an objection rather than like they're just not interested. So he kept on going, like no again, and kept on going no again, and then like the dude just eventually called the police, and it didn't look good for those guys. But
yeah, the first one's okay. You can get through the first no. Like you said, it's an objection, right? Most times.
Yeah.
But if you get it like for a second time, then it's like, all right, let's call it quits here. Is that because they're getting aggravated? And
yeah. What is like the strangest objection that you've received? Whatever that you want to classify that as.
Like, I wouldn't call it strange, but I've never understood when a customer says, oh, that's just way too expensive. You know what I mean? Or where they fly off the handle about the cost of it. You know, when they give you a response. And in my mind, I'm like, I try to think of things like how I would do them, how I'd want to be treated, how I would research it and get answers. So like the response that I would give somebody is like, yeah, let me look into it and see if I want to do some price shopping and make sure that I'm making the right decision.
Yeah.
Not flying off the handle about, oh, that's crazy. That's the most expensive thing I've ever heard. And blah, blah, blah. And just going on. I'm like, did you do a little homework before? Maybe just look into it just a little bit and you'll see pretty quick that we're not that expensive.
Yeah. But can you tell when people like they're just kind of looking for like a yes or no answer rather than if they're actually interested, or like you said, done their homework?
Oh yeah. Well, they get to the point quick too. Real quick questions. Hey, do you guys do gates?
Yeah.
Well, we put our operators on them. Yeah. We don't fabricate gates out of thin air though, You get to it really quick.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. You're having trouble with the helmet over there.
Yeah, we're trying something new today. Kind of change up the pod a little bit, make it a little different change of pace. So I figured I'd dress for the occasion today. But I'm having some wardrobe malfunctions. I was thinking about maybe wearing the Spartan.
Yeah.
This thing right here.
That'd have been very fitting.
I don't know about the headphones though. How I would do that. Maybe I just may have to go headphoneless that episode, but yeah,
give it a shot off air and see how it goes.
Yeah. One plus in the first episode we actually recorded. So we had the table still here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I was sat kind of over here near the glass or near the wall here, and this lamp. I don't know if we had this small lamp at the time, but this big lamp right here came crashing down on me.
No way.
Yeah, I kid you not.
You guys should do a blooper roll.
Well, Parker wasn't recording.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't the first time.
Yeah, Parker.
Yeah.
That would have been funny, though.
Yeah, I know.
One of my favorite things about the radio thing is I recorded like a TV show, too. And they would have bloopers in that. And then for the newscast, one of my favorite things to do was compile those bloopers. And I would put them on the big cassettes.
Yeah.
And then
cassettes, jeez Louise, man.
Oh yeah, these weren't your normal like car cassettes. They were bigger they were bigger than VHS. They were made for repetitive reuse.
Yeah.
They were like industrial VHS cassettes.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, man.
Well, it was fun. I was at Walmart the other day and I saw they were selling I don't know if it was VHS. I think they were selling like VHS players.
Really?
At Walmart, just here down the road.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was just walking past in their electronics section, like on this like little end cap, and I was like, "Is that
interesting?"
That's a VHS player.
Well, retro's a thing. My daughter has an 8-track player in her bedroom. They go to the record shop and.
Oh, like a vinyl player?
The vinyl, yeah, they play vinyls. Yeah, they're 8-track.
I have one as well.
See?
A vinyl player, yeah.
Yeah, that's older than cassette.
I know.
That goes back even further.
Yeah.
But she's into that. They just went up there and they got Michael Jackson, some older stuff. Well, he's kind of in right now because of that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went out and bought a bunch of records and her
it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Like those, depending on what you get. I mean, if you want to get like a regular one, they're like $30-$40 for one record.
Yeah, there was one. I don't know who it was. I'm thinking it was a Michael Jackson like Thriller.
Yeah.
It was like $150.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I wish I would have saved those.
Yeah. And then you got to get a player, which is like another $150, and then you got to get good speakers, and it's like another $200. Like. Adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah.
But
it deterred us a little bit. My bad.
Yeah, but anyway, my helmet or my outfit. Yeah. So the light smacked me. Thankfully, they're all across the way now, so I don't have to. But you never know. Maybe a ceiling tile may fall.
Never know. Yeah, Brett may be up there fixing something.
Yeah.
He fall through. Maybe listening in now.
Yeah. To answer my question, this is what makes me stay on my toes about my job. Just random things that may hit me in the face.
Yeah.
So today I come prepared.
Nice.
But anyway, back to where we were. Sales talk. What is a project, or I guess just a scenario that you thought that there's just no way that we're going to make this happen, but in the end things worked out?
Yeah. We recently did one where they wanted barrier arm gates to control traffic from it wasn't residents. I'm drawing the blank on the term, but anyway, they wanted to control how people came in and stop them and then allow them to go on through. But they were in a facility that was indoors. It wasn't an outside facility.
Yeah.
So the cars would come into the facility on nicer concrete. It's not weathered. It's not sitting out in the weather. So they didn't want you to cut into it. So if you know anything, about gates, is that you have to put in these induction loops for safety and detect when the car comes through, when it exits. And they didn't want those put on there. So therefore, we couldn't drill the operator to keep it stable, because typically you put those in the ground, quite a ways into the ground, go past the frost line to keep, them stable. They don't float away. So, and we couldn't put in our loops. So we had to come up with a solution. At first I was like, I don't think that they're going to like this solution. But I was like, yeah, we'll have to figure out something to put this on. So I was thinking initially, like, we put this onto like a concrete slab. And then when we get it on site, we'll just take it off and then bolt it down to the concrete slab, and then, for the loops, we'll just use some sort of virtual loop. So it's like a sensor that casts out. So we ended up doing that, but another guy here had a great idea to put it onto a metal skid. So we got the metal in, we cut it, fabricated a skid together, and mounted the operator onto the skid, which is now known as the lockdown. So that's kind of how that started.
Yeah. I remember he came in our office one day. He was like, guys, you've got to check this out. And he was showing us the lockdown, which I think was pretty cool, because I mean, I'm not as knowledgeable as probably you guys are when it comes to like what sort of gates are out there, but I've never seen anything like that before. Something that you can just pick up and kind of just move wherever you want, like you said, without trenching or anything. So
yeah, it's great. I'm not going to get too salesy, but like if you had a construction site and you're always moving, and you want to control where traffic can go, I mean, these things you just pick up with a forklift and plop them down wherever.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good opportunity for all of us to go to that customer and give them a solution that's going to help other customers.
Right.
So it's just going to grow.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That's like, we'll help you guys out with that.
Look forward to that. Get that drone footage on the website and get it available.
We actually have to go back there because I forgot to press record this time. So last time we were there at that site, we were just capturing like what we installed at the time. And then we were going to like I think his title was like the plant manager. I think he got promoted once again, but we were going to the plant manager's office, and he was like, we're just asking him for a testimonial, just interview, like how he likes the things and of that sort. And so we set up the cameras, and we set up the mics and everything that we can set up, and we're like, okay, we're good. And so we rattle off the questions we have, and then as like he's talking, I'm like looking at the camera because it like displays, like what it's shooting.
Yeah.
And I don't see like, because normally like there's a thing on the screen that says it's recording. And I was like, is this recording? It doesn't look like it's recording. So, and then like, so he gets through all the questions, and then I look at the camera, and lo and behold, the thing wasn't recording. So, but it gets even better.
Oh, does it?
Well, not for us, but.
Oh, okay.
So we're like, oh my gosh, man, we're so sorry. I didn't press record. And so we do it all over again. And, we rattled. He's like, great, man. Like, now I got to rethink my answers, So we do it again, and then we think we're good. And so we said, thank you so much. We pack our things, and we get back to the office to see what we got. And so we open up the camera, and it recorded, but it had no audio. So,
Oh man.
so because like these cameras, they like overheat if they record audio for the podcast since they're going for so long.
Yeah.
So the audio was turned off, but we had thought because we had to plug in like our portable mics, it would just pick up the audio. But since the camera was muted, looks like we have to make one more trip, which will be fine because we can get those new gates. But
Better buy him a lunch.
yeah, yeah, or get them something.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah,
That's all right. You guys will get it.
yeah.
Not worried.
But yeah. What's one story? Maybe it's with a customer or is on site or something that, in hindsight now that it's over, you can laugh about, but maybe it wasn't really a laughing matter in the present.
Oh, there's so many. Appropriate ones. There's some that aren't quite so appropriate. Not to get into details, but there was a school that had a situation, and it wasn't dangerous or anything like that. It was more along the lines of, oh, I made a really dumb mistake.
Yep.
And now you have to go back but I can't give a lot of details. The one that comes to mind is just like, oh, that was a dumb misquote is what it was.
Okay.
It was like a huge misquote. So for example, let's say I take a quote, I give it to a customer, but I copied it from something else just to save time so I don't have to do all the certain stuff again. But then you get confused on the customer and you give them a completely different quote.
That was for somebody else?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was for somebody else. So that's one that thankfully the customer was so kind and so patient that they were like, oh, okay, I see. I was like, so give me a few minutes. Let me get this prepared right. Let's say it's at the end of the day on a Thursday or a Friday.
Yeah.
And the boss is like, we got to get these out. We got to get some of these out. And, what are you waiting on? Let's go through it together. Let's get it out real quick, and you feel a little rushed. And,
Yeah.
And you're trying to meet deadlines for the customer. And they're like, hey, we got this. And, my boss, the guy that signs up on these things, he's going to be out for a week. I need to get it done. So you're trying to rush. So that was me just rushing, copy, paste, send. Hey, this isn't what I asked for at all, man. What? You go back in, you look into it, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's not you at all. I'll get that adjusted right quick and in a hurry.
Oh, man. Yeah. That would be a rough one.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about mentors, the guy you used to work with when you were doing radio.
Yeah.
Maybe it was from him, maybe it was from someone else, but if you could leave the people with a piece of advice, maybe just a piece of advice or something that someone said to you that really has stuck with you throughout, your career or even your personal life, what would you have to share with them?
One of the best things, and I mentioned it earlier, is it is from the Bible. You want to treat people how you want to be treated, right? So I think that a lot of people could take that advice today and use it more frequently. That's what I really feel strongly about that, because me coming into sales is a blessing anyway, because it's I think it's working out for the company, and it's working out a lot, when people have these misconceptions of salespeople. I've talked to a number of people like, nah, I don't like salespeople. I'm like, okay, well, just give me a few minutes, because I'm not your typical sales guy.
Yeah.
Because I want to treat them how I would want to be treated. If I'm on the receiving end and somebody's telling me the same thing, I want to feel comfort. I don't want to feel like I'm being pushed into something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't take that approach. I don't want to be treated that way. So that's my best advice to give. Treat people how you want to be treated.
Just as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. It makes life a lot easier.
Yeah. I think it's a hard thing to do, though.
It is a hard thing. It is. Because, you have ends that you want to meet. and the customer has things that they want to meet, and sometimes you just can't meet in the
Right.
middle, so that's what makes that hard. But at least if you treat them with respect and kindness, and you can walk away from that feeling okay about the decisions and the conversations that you made, then that's good.
Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jeremy, thanks for coming on the pod. I know you got to go here maybe in a little bit, so I don't want to keep you too long.
It's all good.
But
thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, maybe we could have you on another time.
Sure, I'd like that a lot. This is a cool place to hang out. You got nice furniture.
Yeah,
cool accessories.
We get that a lot. Like I said, we have a lot of people coming through here, just kind of just sit down and take a moment, but
decompress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the right word to use there, decompress. But yeah, Jeremy, again, thanks for coming on the podcast. Make sure to tune in next week, hopefully, next Tuesday for the next podcast. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment maybe what we should talk about next. But this has been the Secure the Perimeter podcast.